Yay. I'm so glad. Since it's a.
Okay, we can now begin. I think it started recording now.
These haven't lit up yet.
They just know that. I think they can wait. Can you just tap that one for a second? Sorry. Two. I was looking at this one. This one's okay.
Is anybody else's working?
This is lit up.
Yours lit up. These are not lit up.
Can you hear us? Anyone?
Hello, hello.
You can hear?
I think they can hear us all okay.
Yeah. Right.
Thumbs up, yeah.
Yeah, they're saying yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to the slightly postponed Sacre meeting summer term. I think we'll just begin with the usual agenda item number 1, which is just welcome and introductions. So welcome everybody. I'm Ed Hoyle. I'm on Chair of Sacre on the Other Faiths panel as a humanist.
I'm Anne Easter. I'm one of the councillors for Royal Albert Ward, a priest in the East Ham team, and vice chair. Chair of vice.
Hello, I'm Jane, the pastor Sal.
I don't need Tim.
Claire Clinton, RE advisor. Marie Hardy, I'm on the teacher panel, work at Brampton Primary.
Berenice, you're a bit off camera, but do you want to?
Marinessa Hussain, I'm part
Okay. And then online, so I can see Yasmin.
So this is Yasmin's first here. I'm going to introduce her and say Yasmin has been an RE leader at Keir Hardie for more years than either of us would like to talk about. But last year we had our place of worship competition, prize giving there, because Yasmin's school managed to win the best overall school last year, which is a hard fought competition. She won lots of prizes this year, but also her school this last year has got an REQM gold. That's so hard to get.
Wow.
And so a big round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm so privileged to be part of Sacre. I'm excited just to see how everything is. So thank you for welcoming me. And thank you, Claire, for your kind words.
Thank you. Congratulations. Ruth.
Good evening, I'm Ruth Everett. I'm a Diocese RE advisor and I sit on Sacre representing the Church of England.
Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Heath and I am a deputy head at Plashet School and I'm on the teacher panel.
Taranum.
Hi everyone, I'm Taranum. I'm on the teacher panel. RE advisor, works with Claire Clinton.
Lucy.
Hello, I'm Lucy. I'm also on the teacher panel. I work as an assistant head teacher at Plashet School, and I also work with Claire Clinton as the secondary RE advisor.
Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha Green. I'm on the teachers panel and I'm a teacher at Cowan Primary School.
Thank you. And is there anyone else online who I can't see? That's all the people can see. I think that's everybody then.
We've just had Councillor Frederick Lola join us. I think he was on.
Oh, and Yael's just joined.
Yael's there. Hey, Yael. You're muted.
You're muted, but you're in time to give your introduction.
And she
Still muted.
Good afternoon.
Hey, you're on. Oh, you were on for a second, yeah?
Yeah.
There you
go.
Right.
Good evening, everybody. It's Yael Callahan, member of the Jewish faith, representing the Jewish faith.
Yeah.
Lovely to hear your voice.
Nice to see you too, everybody, whatever I can. I've got very bad reception. I'm so sorry, so I can't see you all and I can't hear you all, but hopefully I'll manage to stay till the end of the meeting.
Brilliant.
And
Good evening, everyone. I'm Councillor Falola.
thank you.
Oh, Femi.
Yeah.
But we can't see you, Femi.
That's
I think he's at the top.
just off the.
You can see me. Oh, sorry.
Well,
My fault.
Ah,
Ah,
there you are.
yeah.
Hello.
Wonderful. Okay. Welcome. Welcome back.
Hello.
So we Cora.
great.
Yeah.
Welcome in. There, item number 2, new Sacre chair and vice chair. So, I would welcome any, nominations for new chair of Sacre now that my term of 3 years is complete. Anyone interested?
Nominate Anne Easter.
And Easter, I would second that. And
Thank you.
are there any other nominations? Okay,
Round of applause.
well, I think there we go. Yeah.
Transition from vice chair to chair, that's what we like.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you. The chair is officially given and received with thanks. And a special thanks to you, Ed, for being chair these past 3 years, 4 years?
3 years, yeah.
3 years.
Thank you.
And for all you've done to lead the group in that time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, are we happy with the order of business as set, or do you want to change anything? Body, Marinissa?
Yeah, if you can just, if you can kindly just please put yourself on mute.
Having shouted to unmute, now you've muted.
Sorry.
Well done. Thank you, Yale. What apologies do we have for absence, please?
Vice chair.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I beg your, sorry, I'm going ahead there. Who would like to be vice chair? Would anybody like to suggest anybody who wants to be vice chair? Oh,
Jane is the
how about Jane?
All right, then
Yeah,
I'll nominate
nominate.
if that's what it's come to.
Oh, and Ellen seconded, so that's great. Thank you very much. I think we accept this nomination, Jane.
Pleasure. Thank
Right.
you.
Just for those of you who are new, thinking particularly of Yasmin, we have 4 groups on Sacre. We have the Church of England, we have other faiths, we have the LA, and we have teachers. And so before Ed, Marie was chair, and Ed was vice chair. And so other faiths have just had, and beliefs have just had their go at chairing. So now we're going on to the Church of England for chairing. Then obviously then it's LA. So in 3 years' time, but we can do it sooner if we want to, and they not want to do 3 years, whatever, then it would go back round to teachers again. So we'll be looking for a teacher to come in as vice chair. So we try and share the chairing between all the groups, so everybody gets the chance to work with me. I mean, you know.
Yeah, what a reward.
What a reward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jane. Right, back to apologies for absence, Marinissa.
Yeah, so I have Steve Saxby, Jennifer, Asma Hussain. They're the only 3 that I've received, but I believe Claire might have had some more.
So I know actor of
Yes.
is meeting, and so he says he'll be listening, but he probably won't be able to interact. He can always message me. I've got my emails on actor, so you can email me with anything that you want to say or text me. That's fine. And there's somebody else. It'll come back to me. I'll remember in a bit. I can see Ruth's got her hand up.
Ruth?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just want to give the apologies of Helen Palmer, but to say that the diocese have only this week finalise that appointment. So there will be a nomination letter coming, and Helen Palmer will take a position on the CFE group from the autumn meeting as a full-blown member. And
Right, lovely.
if my
That's
other
Sharon.
question,
Yeah.
sorry, my other quick question is if someone could just clarify how many vacancies there are in the CFE group on Newham, please.
So with Helen coming on, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it still leaves one more vacancy.
Hello, Kishore.
Okay, thank you. That is likely to be filled during the autumn term.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. The minutes are on pages 5 to 8. Are there any corrections? I'm not usually so good they name me twice, but I apparently did. Any other corrections on the first page? Or the second page?
Probably do need to get Anne out of the second time as present. We don't want her getting ideas that she's omnipresent.
No, somehow that I can be everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be very useful. On the third page, page 8, any corrections? Have we misrepresented you in any way? No, nothing from the benches over there, so great. Can we accept those as a correct record?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's good. I don't believe there were any actions outstanding, and so we'll go on to the next bit. Declarations of interest. Does anybody have any declarations of interest? Are you in the paid employ?
Not in the paid employ, but I think I have to now declare that I'm officially a Sacre vice chair. So I'm still your RE advisor.
A national, yeah. You have a national
now, but I'm the
presence now. Excellent, eh? Anybody else got any declarations they'd like to, Ruth?
So yeah, I'd just like to clarify that I'm a trustee of 2 organisations that have an interest in our RE, and I also sit on other Sacres.
Great, okay. Anybody else want to declare? No, no, right. Thank you very much for that. The Forum of Faith update is, I can do it so far. Since our last Sacre, we had a very good meeting about drugs. And it was fascinating. There were getting on about 38 people there at the Ramgaria, and the police came, and CGL, that's Change, Grow, Live, the voluntary sector organisation that the council uses for drug and alcohol and addiction issues referrals, who are very good. Both they and the police have this amazing sort of suitcase which they open up, and it's got lots of I think they're probably not actual drugs, but they look very much like the drugs. In case you're an innocent like me who didn't know that ice cream vans sell them, and all sorts of people apparently have free access to all these drugs that I've never even heard of. But if you want them to come to your school, the police, or your church, or your place of worship, or your place of not worship, they're absolutely delighted to come, and it's just fascinating to realise all these things that I suppose our children and grandchildren know just like that, but certainly I didn't. So that was very good. That was in March. However, on May the 22nd, the day of the council AGM, I was telephoned by the mayor to say that she was going to delete that post. Now you may go, or, oh, or that was interesting or whatever, but, she said it was because of finance. 3 other posts were deleted at the same time. And, so that is that. And I'm sorry to say that I was very sad and very shocked and disappointed. And lots of people have said, excuse me, lots of people have said, what, you know, but maybe the work that we've done over the past 6 or 7 years has put some very good frameworks in place and has certainly, if it done nothing else, and I don't believe that's the case, but if it done nothing else, then it has made lots of people in touch with lots of other people.
Yeah.
And it's meant that people know each other, and it's also taught us about other faiths. Because in fact, although I talked last time that we weren't going to have a Holly celebration, we did have a very quick one, an off-the-cuff one in the fire station at Stratford, and people were duly...
people there.
And there were about 250 people there, and people were duly covered in coloured powder, and including the fire chief. So that was very good. But so I'm very sad to say that there is no longer a forum of faith, and so we'll have to expunge that item from future
Item will have to go.
agenda, or until somebody changes their minds. But now let's have the student RE matters update. Who's going to give us that? Lucy, thank you.
No problem. So you can see the kind of report that's in your papers. It gives lots of detail. I won't read it all, but I just think there's important bits to highlight. And Anne, you've obviously participated heavily in the faith leaders panel, which has been brilliant. So you'll be able to share some of your insights as well. We've had 9 secondary schools participate, which is really, really good and really positive. And it's kind of almost better than what we were at pre-COVID, really, wouldn't you say, Claire?
Absolutely.
We've had Plashet, QArt Girls Academy, Azar Academy, St Bons, Lister, Kingsford Community School, Little Ilford School. We got Chobham Academy involved and Rokeby School. So that's a real win. Lots and lots of schools participated in the workshops this year. When I last presented, we had completed session 1 and 2. So we'd kind of started thinking about what stereotyping is. We had given students the opportunity to meet faith leaders in a faith leader panel, and they had given their views on kind of stereotyping, and we've begun to consider how stereotypes can be overcome. And then we've had our last virtual meeting, I think it was the week before last, which is a recorded session. Some students attended in person, so we had Kingsford School that were present and asking questions within the meeting itself. And then other schools who weren't able to attend can obviously access that session virtually and complete all 3 sessions. And we had really positive feedback from schools, from teachers and students. So there's some example quotes in the kind of RE Matters report that you received in your papers, but just some examples. You've got one student saying, I learned to be more respectful as a person and stop stereotyping people based on their religion. So that's a student kind of reflecting on their own views and their own behaviour. I learned about different problems that many people face daily, so kind of reflecting on other groups in society. I thought this one was really interesting. It may never be fully overcome, but everyone can live together in peace if we broaden our knowledge on the people around us. I thought that showed a lot of awareness. And then other students commenting on how it's important to be open-minded in order to defeat stereotypes, that individuals can make a change and can represent what they believe and what they stand for. And other students who commented on the kind of roadshow style and how they got to meet other learners, and how they found that interesting to kind of meet different people and meet the faith leaders. And then you had kind of comments from teaching staff around the opportunities it provided students to kind of engage with faith leaders and share ideas and work with other learners. So that was really nice, really positive feedback from the project. Anne, was there anything you wanted to add about your experience?
Just that it was great fun, really. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really nice. And
Yeah,
there were some very poignant questions
yeah,
from some of the young people. And I particularly was interested in the humanist contribution, and which was so fine and good and proper. And I felt probably so many of the young people had never come in contact with a humanist before. They might well have met a Christian or a Hindu or whatever, but I thought that would give them I hope it gave them a lot of thought, things to think about, which was excellent. No, it was great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, going to school for an hour and a half.
and you're right. They did ask really insightful questions.
They did.
I think there were no silly questions there, which was brilliant. And in the virtual meeting, you saw how those questions advanced over time through the project as well, which I thought was really nice. They kind of built upon their knowledge, if you like. So that's an update of this year's Stereotyping Roadshow. Claire, do you want me to talk a bit about what we've got coming next year?
Yes, and
Yes.
I want to, I suppose, because we've got Yasmin as her first time. Yasmin, this is the interfaith work that we do between schools. Interfaith or infant RE or junior RE, it's slightly different when we get to secondary, in that we try and equal about 3 days of input a year to run a programme, whereas the primary programme, as you know, is 1 day of input. So we sort of try and build on it. I was just thinking for the new people, Lucy, they might not know what this group is, because obviously they wouldn't come across it necessarily as a primary specialist. And I'll talk after you've finished about the project for next year. Also about the bid that we've got into the Mayor at the moment for continuing this project as well, but continue with the project for next year.
Yes, apologies. I came in a little bit late, so I didn't realise we had new people in the group. But yes, it's a student-led project where basically you get different schools participating. This year, normally what we have is a group of about 10 students per school who come and join one big meeting every half term. And then the idea is that they take those resources and that learning back to their school, sometimes in the medium of assemblies or kind of different projects. We've made films, we've done loads of different things, art projects, and then they share those resources more widely and they meet faith leaders. They might visit places of worship as part of those projects. This year, we kind of went big and we did these stereotyping big roadshows to try and increase that engagement post-COVID and get our group back to where it was, I suppose, and increase school participation. So we did big roadshows that involved a lot more students, and we actually managed to get increase in schools participating, which was brilliant. So the amount of learners that participated in each roadshow varied from about 60 to sometimes 100, 110. I think that was the biggest one we did. I think that was in Lister. They had the biggest numbers for the road shows. And then, sorry, Claire, did you want me to talk about next year? I didn't catch.
Yes, go on to talk about what Student RE Matters is going to do next year.
Fab. So next year, we're going to look at something called Belief in Action, which is essentially thinking about how religious and non-religious worldviews support people through difficult times. And this was linked to kind of the fact that we were seeing increasing challenges in society. We've got the cost of living. We've obviously got the increase in food banks. We've got an increase in mental health challenges amongst young people, and amongst the adult population. So this is kind of thinking about how the support we have in the community and how students can kind of learn about the religious input of what that support is, with a view that each school and each area will have a resource that they can share with their community on the different kind of resources and different offers available in their areas. So I think the idea is that in primary, there's a lot of work in terms of what's on offer in the community. There's a lot of signposting in terms of kind of local food banks, local warm banks, places where you can kind of close banks, for example, baby banks. And then I think in secondary, we just don't do that as well. And the idea behind this project is to create that resource for schools. So we're kind of giving them something really important that will help their community. And in addition, the learners who are participating are still getting all those brilliant things. They're going to be working with other students. They're going to be collaborating. They're going to be meeting faith leaders and leaders, religious leaders who lead charity work, basically. So we'll be really looking at kind of religious service in the community, religious worldviews and non-religious worldviews and what they contribute to the community. And then the idea is that that will be information shared with the rest of the whole school community, including families, parents and carers. And the idea is that that actually supports everybody, which I think is really powerful.
And Lucy and Katrina, who some of you may remember, Katrina used to come in and do the bit that Lucy does. She works up in Norfolk today, so that's why she's not here. But Lucy and I put a bid together to West Hill to ask for £5,000 to run this project next year, to actually get a professional filmmaker in. Many of you have met my friend Robert, who used to work for the BBC. He's done films for us over many years, and he's very good, reasonable rates for this type of filming, because filming can cost many, many thousands. But anyway, we've got the money for Robert to make films so that he can feature some different religious places and non-religious places and what they're doing in order to help community. And actually, they'll be there for all of our schools, but they'll also be there for all of the UK or anywhere to use. And so we're really delighted, because actually getting that £5,000 from West Hill is hard. We wrote to Cockerell and were told no, but we got the West Hill money. So that's really great. We've also written a bigger bid to Lord Khan and to London funding. And that's about doing this stereotyping project, again, not just in Newham schools, but also in Barking and Dagenham and Camden. As a lot of you know, I'm also the RE advisor in those two authorities. So it makes it very easy for me to put something in front of those schools. And when you have a successful project, you can put forward for a further bit of funding to take it out further. Now, that means that we only need to do it in one Barking and Dagenham school. We only need to do it in one Camden. And it means 8 Newham schools could benefit. Now, we had 9 this year doing it. So it means that we can run that again as a separate offer if we get the funding. We won't know until the 31st of August. But I think we've written a strong bid. I'm sure that we've written a really strong bid, and we've got really good evidence of impact. And I think it fits with exactly what they're trying to do around taking away all sorts of different stereotypes and things for young people. But of course, there could be 5 other people that have written a more compelling bid than we have. Our bid isn't very big. You could go up to 120 or 150,000, and I think we've put in for 20,000. So I don't know whether that will go in our favour or against us, but we're hoping in our favour. But and the other thing I think Newham Sacre should be proud of, as well as some of our matters as such, is in Camden I put in for an Sacre bid for some money to develop Sacre projects with young people in Camden. and we were one of the 4 boroughs that won nationally.
Wow.
But what we're doing is we're doing 2 things that we do here. So this is why I think there's a link to Newham and why you should know about it and feel proud. Because every year we run these year 2 and year 5 interfaith conferences for year infant RE matters, junior RE matters. And so I've got some money, Lucy and I in Camden are going to be running those with schools in Camden next year. And we've got money for the year after. So we've got 2 years running it in Camden where it will be fully funded. And then after that, it's up to the council, it's up to schools to decide they want to continue it. But hopefully there'll be enough taste and see that they'll want to do that. And also, Azan's not here tonight because he's had to go to hospital, but he is going to be doing one of the projects that we did with our student RE matters for a few years ago, which is where we got the students to prep a primary school lesson and from secondary school to go into primary school as visitors and deliver a lesson. And Lucy, I know she has to go, so she may have already gone. But as Lucy said, that was one of her favourite projects. We've done it twice in student RE matters. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a smaller version of that project with 6th formers in Camden. They have, all the schools run a 6th form together. And so they go to certain schools to deliver certain lessons because they're quite close together. So we're going to talk to the AS people. Last year there were 40 people doing AS, this year there's 50 people doing AS. So we're hoping there will be enough number. We're looking for 20 6th form students that we can work with over a year and a half to go and talk about their worldview, to go and talk about their faith or non-religious belief into Key Stage 3 or into primary schools. And Azan, who runs our pupil parliament and helps Marie and I with school council, is very good on public speaking. And so that's why I've got him to do that little project with the 6th formers. But I know it's Camden and, you know, Camden won the bid, well done for Camden. But they're doing 2 things that we have spent 20 years working out how to do well here.
I remember talking to some of the students. They joined one of the meetings, didn't they? And they were all surprised at how hard it was to plan and deliver a lesson.
Their respect for teachers really went up with that project. We did it twice for that reason, Ed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Lucy's gone, has she?
No, I'm here. I'm still here.
There, Lucy.
Off the screen, we can't see you. Sorry,
I'm
Lucy.
here. I'm here. No problem. Yeah, no, it was a brilliant project. I do remember it. I remember going into the primary schools, and I think the participants, the teachers, the student teachers, if you like, absolutely loved it.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. And just FYI, the warm banks are called warm havens in this borough. Yes.
That's a nice word. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it also means library.
Yeah.
So. But that's great. Thank you very much, Lucy. Is there any questions for Lucy or anything else we'd like to ask? Any?
Yeah, just big thanks to her, Azan and Karina, who've run that programme without me this year. So I've actually had my hands off it, haven't I, Lucy? In that I haven't turned up to any of your meetings.
No. You've been missed, but you've got lots of fish to fry. But it's been great. It's a really nice project, and really looking forward to next year's one. I think it's brilliant.
Yes, sounds very interesting. We look forward to hearing more about that. Thank you very much. Do you have to go now? Is that one?
No, I can stay for a bit.
Okay.
20 minutes.
Sorry, they keep on telling me you've got to go.
No problem.
Lucy, so it's my fault. My fault.
No problem.
So now we come to item 8, the update on our place of worship trip and the report for Sacre.
So
which is page 15 to 20.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully you can see everything's really positive for running this. And you can just see, I tried to show in the graphs the change from before to after for teachers. Sam, I don't know if somebody from Kerwin was on it, or Yasmin, if anybody from here Hardy was on it, or Taryn and anybody from was on it.
We had 3 people go on the one in spring, not the
Yes.
recent one though. Yes.
Yes, this is the one we're talking about. It's the spring one we're talking about. So did they come back and say that they enjoyed it, Sam? That's what we want to hear.
Everyone came back very enthusiastic. It was really nice actually, because we got to send more staff members, obviously because of the funding that was given than we normally would. So we was expecting to have 1 person, but we could have 3. And being a massive school for Formentary, we could have 3 people from different parts of the school go, like different key stages. And then it was really nice. They came back very positive. They were really excited. They got to go to so many different places, interact with so many different leaders. They couldn't believe how knowledgeable Claire was. A couple of people commented. They said, wow, she really knows what she's talking about. It's like, she definitely does, yeah. And overall, everyone was really, really positive. They had a really great day.
Excellent. Excellent. And everybody felt more confident. I think that's the thing. Ellen?
Helen Palmer, the new Church of England member, has apologised for tonight. Also went on that trip, she said how she enjoyed it, how useful it was. It gave her that wider picture.
Yeah.
And she feels. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to have Helen with us. We kept pushing her faster in walking. We had Taryn and Mortelli and Lucy. We booked a coach for the day. We'd spent a lot of money on a coach for the day. We'd paid up front. This coach company were like, we need the money up front. And then we had no coach for the day. So we had all these people to go on a coach and then no coach. And for a long time, they're telling us the coach will be there in a minute. And in the end, we had to repeat vast amounts of distance that we weren't expecting to. But we did get a coach to get us from Majid Ibrahim on the Barking Road next to Newham Bookshop to the synagogue in Wanstead. Because there was no way we could walk.
Yeah, I think that's really.
That one and public. So I think we just sort of lost the teachers at that point.
Gradually, one by one.
So it was all a bit traumatic, and Lucy and Taranum were brilliant in trying to sort things out, and me trying to look like a swan, but was paddling very hard underneath. And there was one point where I got to this man who was in charge of, he was on holiday in Spain, and he got a bit snippy with me that we were talking to him while he was on holiday. Because nobody in the office was answering us. We had his mobile number. We didn't know he was in Spain. And it was his business.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was a bit snippy. And at that point, I didn't completely lose it, but I did go, I told him, I'll say that, if you want, basically, if you want to know how I'm feeling, I can really tell you how I'm feeling at this point. We've paid a lot of money and you haven't delivered anything. And I don't think I should not be upset. I think I'm right to be upset. And all these teachers at Gurdwara,
yeah.
And there's supposed to be a coach, well, there was supposed to be a coach outside the Hindu temple. But anyway, we got through it, didn't we, Tim?
Yeah.
We did. And you remained very calm, Claire, I thought. I was actually genuinely really impressed. I thought, wow, okay.
I was so livid inside. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they'd taken the money and then the person that they put on, it was his day off.
So bad.
So when we phoned him where he was, he said, well, I'm not driving today, it's my day off. We were like, you're the named driver that we've got.
They're lovely pictures, and thank you very much for the pictures. That's very nice.
And the impact is really good. So
Yes.
so I presumably a lot of this stuff will work its way into the report, will it, at the end of it? Yeah. We can demonstrate.
And I do think, do you remember one of the things we said, that we wanted to think about those hard to reach schools?
Yeah.
So what we did was we gave all the schools that are not in partnership with me, that don't come to the network meetings, we gave them a free place. And you can hear, like for schools of Kerwin who are in partnership with us, we gave a few places. We still didn't get all those hard to reach schools over the line, but we got a few of them.
Some of them.
And I think Sacre needs to consider each year what we can do to try and get those hard to reach.
Win them
schools.
over, yeah.
Win them over.
Yeah.
But I think this was a very good intervention to do. It worked really well.
And a lovely day, if only the. Yeah. But very nice, and I'm sure those who welcomed you, if you behaved yourself, did they behave themselves?
I wasn't there.
No.
I was somewhere after.
That's great. Thank you very much. I think that's a very worthwhile thing on which to spend money. And the priorities, number 9, which are on the pink pages right at the back.
They are, I mean, we're basically there with all our priorities that we set this year.
Right.
We are collecting.
Doing that now.
And in terms of where we are with that, we've got an at-a-glance sheet, just looking for the at-a-glance sheet. But I looked at it yesterday and I can tell you that nearly all the primary schools got theirs in and most of the secondary schools. We've never had quite so many in before the end of term. We're usually chasing them in September, and that's when we get them in September and October. But actually this year, we're doing really, really well. And I think that's partly because we've got Claire and Georgina now helping me in the back room of RE Matters. So it means that there's 2 people doing admin rather than 1. And Claire has taken on. If I tell you a funny thing, is we think some people are responding to Claire more than they do to Georgina's email because they think it's me. And a couple of people asked if I've got married recently. Her name is Claire Debenham. And I said, no, I'm still Claire Clinton. Not really understanding why they were asking that question. But then it all made sense later when I was talking to Georgina and Claire.
You're Claire with an I.
Yeah. But obviously teachers are running at such a fast pace at Ed that they're not noticing. And it does say under the signature, admin support. So, you know, that's just teachers not, but it didn't make me laugh that they're saying, well, we think we'll carry on using Claire because she gets much more responses than Georgie.
Why not? We don't care. Why?
Oh, poor Georgina.
It's been interesting to have been asked if you'd got married. Did people know something you didn't?
Exactly. And there is obviously identity fraud. So all of this is always possible. No, I think we should be proud of everything we've done this year. And
yes, done very well.
Done a really good thing. So we will get that last red over. And lots of us are ongoing, but most of the greens, so well done, everyone.
Well, they're going to be ongoing forever, aren't they? Yes, really. Thank you. Any questions or queries on the plan for next year? No? No? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Claire. We look forward to that. Our next lot of priorities. And then discussions with the local authority.
So I've been talking to Annabelle Bates and Ashley Miller, who is acting Deputy Director in Education, about a budget and what the LA have given us previously to do our green syllabus review. So this might sound a little forward, but in June 2027, we have to launch a new green syllabus. So we have to have completed our review. So really September starts that 1.5-year process for us to think about what we've been doing. And so our meetings probably in the spring term will be a particular focus thinking about what we want to do in terms of the green syllabus. Now, the LA has many financial constraints at the moment, and I think any of us who live in Newham will be aware of all of those things. So I haven't been able to get any sort of figure from the LA about whether we will have any funding towards doing this statutory task. I think we probably will. But my advice to Sacre would be, I think this is one of those points where our chair and vice chair, and maybe our previous chair, I don't know, needs to probably go and talk with the LA about this funding. Because we can probably, like last time, they gave us 43,000 or 42 and a bit. The previous one before that had 26,000 given to it. So if we go back over the last 10 years, I don't think we need that sort of figure like the 42, 43. I mean, I could always use it. I could do it.
We'll start there.
But
and negotiate.
I can, and I would suggest that Sacre has an action point for me to do some working early on in the autumn term to come up with the different figures of what we need to do, what the time and what the costs would be. And my advice to Sacre would be that chair or vice chair takes that and has a meeting within the LA. And I don't know whether it's with the Director of Education or whether it's somebody above that, because I would say Annabelle's heard me, Ash has heard me, but they're not able to give me any figures around anything. Now, my problem is they employ me to do the work. So in a sense, I just have to wait to be told, but you don't. Okay? In law, you have to have the funding to do this review. I don't have to be given any funding to do this review. Do you see what I mean? So there's a little bit of a nuance here. And I do think we need to know by November what we have.
Oh, definitely. Yes, yes, definitely. Well, fortuitously, both chair and vice chair have access to people. So we will have to do a bit of asking to find out who is the right person to speak to. It may be Sarah Ruiz.
Yeah, that's a good start anyway.
Yeah, we'll start with her and work down.
Just say, isn't the DFE going to, you know, if it's statutory and the thing's got to be done, is there no funding available?
So there's CSSB funding that comes in annually to the LA. Our funding next year is about 51,000 that comes into the LA, but it's not ring fenced. So it can be used for anything. What it says in law is the LA has to provide what Sacre asks for in order to do the task. And if an LA does not provide what Sacre needs in order to do the task, they're asked to go to the Secretary of State for them to intervene. Because they are giving, it's part of the calculation. But it's not ring fence.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, there we are. Right, well, I'm sure Jane and I can get
I think we need to
on that.
get on the actions for the minutes here.
Possibly quite.
I was just going to ask Marisa what she's got so far.
Because the first action really is to know what you need, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think I need to do a scoping document.
Yeah, and I think sort of starting off with doing the syllabus work, doing a launch and doing some limited training. And then beyond that, we wanted to do some further training, because I know that last year Claire organised a huge amount of training and it was really well received. So I think, and as well, it was similar last year, you provided a few different options as well, didn't you, Claire, depending on what it would be.
Well, but I'll always start with the most.
Well, I would say that the bottom one should cover all the things that we think are important.
Exactly.
So things like getting a launch, getting some training. Yes, exactly. And then say, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Oh.
And Marie, Taranum and I have been part, as you know, of this Oak writing team this year for the primary curriculum, which we will show you next term, because I think we should do a bit of a show and tell.
Yeah.
Alexia, who's also on Sacre, has been part of that writing team as well. And that all goes live in September. We're just on our final writing week. And next week, hopefully, is our final videoing week. Though I think Taranum might get the the prize for the most videos in one day, because I think she's done 4. Which I don't know quite how she's managed that, but anyway, I've done 3 before now, but I've not done 4 in a day. So Marie's a close second, I think, with hers weighing up at the moment. But anyway, we're near the end of the project, and so all that writing, part of the reason that I took that job, and I knew the job would be really hard for us, and I think the team would all say it's been very, very hard work. We haven't been given enough time to do all the things that the government has wanted us to do. So we've put in a lot of time above the time that the government had given us to do the task, because we want it to be good. But part of the reason why we did that was I knew that I could use all that work when we come to review our syllabus. So it was a sort of year of pain in order to give us some really good materials that we could maybe adapt for Newham.
With Edith Sitwell, all in the end is harvest.
Yeah.
We believe in that.
But we should definitely show you some of those lessons next time.
Yeah, we would love to see.
And there are quite a few Sacre members who star in them, so we'll maybe find
some better. Yeah,
with Sacre members starring them.
We love that. That's very good. So you're all right with that, Marinissa, that Jane and I are going to approach?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll make sure I send the minutes to both of you.
Yeah, don't put any money in it
No.
against, because we'll work that one.
Yes.
We
can talk about the last 2 reviews and how much.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got, 42,500 and 26,000 of the 2 last reviews.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll also say about all the number of children who pass GCSEs.
Yeah, and the reason why we do well at GCSE is because of our syllabus.
Please. I think this is not accidental, this is a result of what we do. And this is very important. Yes, way up the scale. Yeah, and that's very.
To be truthful, I think it affects the community.
Of course, yes.
Most people stay in Europe.
Yeah.
Contribution they've made at school lives on, doesn't it?
Definitely, yes, I couldn't agree more. That's so important, isn't it? Thank you. Yes, that's important to be reminded of. And, all our schools, I think all our schools, or all except one, are good or outstanding now, which is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, once upon
We're the highest in the league tables, but overall for boroughs, for schools.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, once upon a time, to have gone to school in Newham would be, oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. In fact, I've got a poem that was published in the Newham News in the olden days when we used to have that. About which sort of begins, I must dig it out. I am a Newham child. And people will say, what? You're a Newham child. And one day I will say, I am a Newham child. Be proud of it. Yeah, so there.
I remember when we moved here sort of 22, 23 years ago, both sets of our parents were appalled with the decision because they looked at schools and they looked at academic results, and we were living in Loughton at the time that sat in a very good set of schools and results, and we were like, no, it'll be fine, and the boys will be fine, and the boys have been absolutely fine. But I've been part of seeing that transformation of Newham schools over the last 20 years, and actually it's a really beautiful thing to be part of, and to be someone who kids have been schooled here, live here and work for the local authority. It's been all inclusive, but it's been great to know what was going on.
Yeah, super. And I've just seen that one of those children who happens to be my granddaughter, was at 10 Downing Street this morning talking to the Prime Minister about the importance of breakfast.
Marvellous.
You were going to say a different Brex.
No.
You were gonna say-
Well, no, I'm sure she'll work up to that. If family conversations are anything to go by. Right, so you have to leave that in Jane and my hands for the time being. We'll report back to you. Now we come to the Sacre, I don't know how we pronounce that. I would like to say how very proud I was to be able to welcome people from all over the country to that conference. It was very, and also a lovely part was that 2 people came up and told me how brilliant the reception staff had been with them. Now, our reception staff don't always get a good press, but I was able to report that back to the head of service, Mohammed Hamadan, who said he would make sure that it was relayed to the people concerned. And I just felt so proud of them and how terrific that was. We welcomed them with sweets, didn't we? And healthy options, nuts we had as well. And are we going to see a film at this point?
Hoping.
About that day, it was great.
Yes, I've connected to the internet, so maybe you do that. I'll
Share your screen and
screen right now. So,
yeah. So I went to see Lord Khan last Tuesday at the Home Office to talk further about Sacre, and he's looking to whether he can come out and visit us next year. Because he really sees Sacre as a big answer to community cohesion, and he really wants to understand the Sacre, and he wants to come to a good Sacre. So he's heard that we're a good Sacre, so he wants to come here.
Well, anytime.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Get some sweets in.
You just have to make sure everybody turns up.
Yeah.
Like 3-line whip, everyone needs to.
Cut out.
Anyway, he did us a little speech, and it's on the Sacre website, but if we're able to play it, I think we'd all enjoy it.
will Amy log on to share? And I'm free with you, Kelly, maybe you can help me.
Have you got up on the internet? So if you reduce Zoom a moment, sorry everybody, we're reducing you. Yeah, that's it. And share sound for a minute, go back, stop share, stop share. Stop share.
Yay, that's it.
Back. You're going to share again. But this time you also click share sound. Click on that. Literally press play and you're done. See, you were there.
It's not, oh, is it playing though? I'm confused about it. It's not playing though, is it?
Did you get the link in my?
I did. So I'm
Go to your email. Go to the website. Go to the website. And then go down to message from Lord Khan.
Yeah, I think it'll.
Can people see Lord Khan at home?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we're ready to go. You can make him big. Stand up.
Can they hear?
No noise.
Can you hear anything?
But also
No,
the
we
profound
can't.
impact these have on individuals
Oh, we
and
can.
communities. For over 60 years, so the profound impact these have on individuals. High quality religious education is more than a subject on the school timetable. It is a vital part of shaping curious, empathetic and respectful young people. It helps students not only understand different faiths and beliefs, but also the profound impact these have on individuals and communities. For over 60 years, standing advisory councils for religious education have been central to ensuring that religious education remains academically rigorous, inclusive, and reflective of the diverse worldviews that make up our society. Their work helps students develop deeper understanding of others and fosters social cohesion in our schools and beyond. Guided by Sacre's, RE encourages respectful dialogue, challenges prejudice, and builds a shared sense of humanity. It nurtures faith literacy, not just the ability to recite facts, but the deeper understanding of how religion and beliefs shape lives, decisions, and identities. It encourages reflection on belief, traditions, and ethics. It encourages pupils to consider the concept of belief and the role it plays in the traditions and values of this country. This, in turn, equips them with the knowledge they need to interact with people around them, regardless of their own beliefs. Pluralism also underpins high-quality religious education, helping students value diverse beliefs and practices and celebrate different perspectives. Without that understanding, students risk developing a fragmented view of the world. And when we fail to foster connection and comprehension, we leave space for division where there should be unity. Sacres are champions of that unity. They help create school environments where respectful disagreement is encouraged, where mutual learning flourishes, and where shared values are nurtured. As you may know, the government has established an independent curriculum and assessment review chaired by Professor Becky Francis, CBE. The review aims to ensure a rich, broad, inclusive, and innovative curriculum that readies young people for life and work. RE is one of the subjects being considered in the review, which has taken into account responses from the RE sector to its call for evidence and listened to the points raised at a roundtable attended by key RE organisations. The review group published an interim report on the 18th of March, and the final report with recommendations will be published in the autumn. In closing, thank you to our local faith communities, teachers and councils nationwide for their commitment to a high-quality religious education. Let's continue supporting their vital work and ensure our schools foster not only knowledge, but also the values of tolerance, respect and understanding, essential qualities for building a stronger, more cohesive society.
Lovely, that was very good, wasn't it? Yes.
And he is really wanting to try and help in whatever ways we see fit. So he's really listing, so the chair, vice chair and the assistant to the chair for the Sacre went, as I say, last Thursday, and we had an hour with him and really looking to what funding he can put into Sacres and whether we can get some of the funding ring-fenced. And he's just very open, and he's a Bolton lad, and he was taught by Ian Nicholson, who's an RE advisor like myself. When he was a full-time RE teacher, he did GCSE and A-level RS. He's always had an interest in interfaith. He led some of that work as a head boy in his school. And so you can see that this is not, it's like you've got somebody in government in a position with something that they have done for a long time and have an expertise in and a passion for. And government doesn't always work like that with positions and people. So whilst he's in the position, we're trying to talk and forward things with him. A very positive conversation last week. Very grateful for his time.
What is his status at the moment, apart from being Lord?
So he's head of, is it community cohesion and local communities?
Oh. Right.
In the Home Office. Which is a very swish building.
Oh, nice. Well, good, as long as they do good work. We don't mind. Any questions from up there in the expensive seats?
So I don't know if anybody else who's at conference wants to say any of their experience of conference. And we also had webinars. Sarah led a webinar, and I like Sarah if she's feeling well enough to just explain the webinar that she led with me. So that went very well and got very good reviews. Ruth, go first.
I just want to say again, reiterate how welcoming Newham was, and the wealth of networking that went on as well. And it was lovely to see people from so many Sacres and links and the positive conversation. And I think Lord Khan set the tone for the day. So it was really a valuable experience and a privilege to be part of.
Just to say, Miss Sacre wants to come back to Newham and run all the London conferences with us forevermore, every other year. So I'm hoping that they will be back.
Yeah, right.
I think it was for so many that the accessibility of access as well, and that counted for a lot, as well as the content alongside.
Thank you, Rick.
Right.
We should mention as well that the transition to CIO went through, which is the charitable incorporated organisation. And to celebrate that, Claire arranged afternoon tea for everyone, which was great.
Yeah, apart from organising the conference, my two things that I was proud of was I arranged a snack table, which went down very well, and afternoon tea. And these were the things that everyone talked about on their evaluations. And the rest of the exec were like, a snack table, I'm telling you. And then I was saying, afternoon tea, they said, but everyone will have had lunch. I'm like, I'm telling you. Afternoon tea. We've become a CIO, it's a big thing. And we've got a lovely picture of everybody with the cake. And it's on our website if you've not seen it, but it's a really lovely picture of Sacres around the country. So it's nice, isn't it? Having moments.
Yeah.
The keynote presentation from Joyce Miller was also really good. I don't know if there was a recording. It's only the slides, I think, on the website.
The slides are on there, yeah.
I get the whole picture, but the main thing she was talking about was basically how religion and worldviews, how you can use that framework for teaching RE. And the three things that basically she said were, first of all, to focus on the commonality. I think there's a lot of focus on differences, and that's important to people's identities because they identify with particular subgroups and cultures. But as far as RE teaching, it should always start from the point of commonality. The second thing she said was critical thinking, and she's called it an antidote to extremism, generalizations, and stereotyping. And the third thing she talked about was self-reflection, just understanding where the individual and where you sit in relation to others. Those were the three things she emphasized. It was a really good,
very good,
really good talk.
Yeah. I'm seeing her next week. Sorry, follow up from that.
Claire, that's a little bit behind, so we've only got about 4 minutes.
Yeah, we're right at the end.
Right.
Yeah. So Sarah.
So I led an online training session for Le Sacre as part of their CPD week, and Claire was with me. She did hold my hand all the way through it, so I do need to point that out. But the topic that we delivered on was how Sacres can support teachers of religious education in teaching about sensitive or controversial issues, if you like. I think it was quite eye-opening for the participants, especially in realising quite how much of this weighs on the shoulders of an RE department, particularly in a secondary school. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience. I did get a little bit of a grilling at the end, but very worthwhile, I think. Yeah, I think it was a bit of an eye-opener for people about how much we do shoulder in terms of educating young people about being, as Ed said, critical thinkers, about thinking about where the information they listen to comes from, and how we can support RE teachers in making sure that they are well trained to deal with these things, because when things go wrong with sensitive issues, they tend to go really wrong. So yeah, it was a really good session.
Sarah was excellent, but she did get a grilling. You were always going to get a grilling because of the nature of the topic, but that's fine. But yeah, I think we have access to webinars, and I think one of the things that we should do again next year, I would propose, is that we spend the £60 a year to have unlimited access to all the webinar programme. I think I attached that earlier to you, but I think we need to minute that if everyone's in agreement to that.
Is everyone in agreement to
Yes.
spend £60?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
And I think that takes us to dates for next meeting, and we've got a couple of other things in any other business. Might not get through.
So the first thing was the in-person meeting that you wanted to discuss. So when, I'll let you take over that.
Yeah, so Ed and I were talking just before the meeting, and I think we would propose maybe next year, the summer term meeting, that we have it in a place of worship and we have it as a in-person meeting. So we have 2 hybrid meetings a year and 1 in-person meeting, and it would be sensible if that was at a place of worship. Would be my proposal.
I prefer to have it the other way round, really, and have 2 in real life and 1.
I just think you miss out so much on a online. It's fine if it's bad winter and it's bad weather, but you miss the social interaction.
Yes.
So you can be a new member and never ever get to know really the other people on that meeting.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with that. Yes.
I'm in agreement. I mean, I spend most of my time in front of a screen all day working, but you just want to be out of that, especially for this, and get that touch and feel. And sometimes you want to go into the office to do that and you learn more. And like you just said, you know, you can have offline discussion.
So, okay, if we say our autumn meeting is face to face, and we'd like everyone to turn up to it face to face, we could find a school to have that meeting in potentially. And our summer term meeting is face to face, and our spring term meeting we have as the hybrid. Yeah,
Great, I'd be happy with that.
Okay,
Would people be happy with that?
I would.
Yeah, others?
That
Yeah.
sounds very good.
Okay.
yeah,
Everybody up there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to come to Flashit?
Yeah. Let's book it, flash it, yeah.
Yeah, lovely, thank you.
Great. That's fine. Everything else we'll have to save for email. Sorry.
Right.
We'll have for the next meeting now, so yeah.
Right.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye, 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 happy summer.
It